Hello, warriors. I hope you can hear me okay. I have my fan going because it is pretty hot in here. So I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on a bit of a different setup here. So I hope the audio is fine. Let me see if I can. Actually, I'm going to quickly hear myself. See if you guys can hear me all right. What is on my... I love that this is magnetic. It's really funny. Not sure how long I'll be on here for, but I thought I'd hop on because I'm getting my brain juices going. As you can see, I have my hair up. That pretty much means I mean business. I ate so much earlier so I could have energy for the day, but that also has its type of factor with it too. IBS is a challenge. Anyways, let's see. Talk. Oh, I sound fine. Sweet. Yeah, I moved my fan because it's usually right here, right next to my computer. Probably wouldn't be able to hear me that way, but I have it down here. It's nice. All right, so this, oh gosh, I'm already kind of getting emotional from it. This is kind of like, I guess, a dark day diary kind of a video. It's something that everyone with ADHD struggles with, but I feel like it's not talked about enough, or at least I can't really find it many places. Because, you know, everybody has their own type of videos and stuff. Oh, man. But I'm pretty sure I titled it correct. Actually, I always have to put the tags on here because it doesn't do it. But it's about ADHD and emotional dysregulation. Something that isn't talked about at all as much as it should be. Just doing the tags, which is what I gotta do each time, I guess. Hello, welcome. Not sure how long I'll be on here for, but I thought I'd hop on since I'm doing some thinking here. Be of some type of inspiration. Get these brain juices flowing. All right. Already my brain is like, oh, because it's just such a topic. ADHD and emotional dysregulation. With the intense emotions that we gotta handle ourselves. Because it can really make or break relationships. All of what we've been raised by, been raised around. But even that has the huge effect to it. It's also just your brain in general. Like, so many people have ADHD, and obviously I have ADHD, and it's just so, like, it saddens me just because we have to, like, we all have our paths in life, but ADHD can be really challenging and really hard. So I thought I would just jump on here and talk about emotional dysregulation, intense emotions with ADHD, and really just so everyone just isn't alone, you know? So I literally have this whole, like, so many notes. So, like, I'm just on here trying to get my brain together with this. Hmm. I'll be completely honest, though. I do actually wonder what majority of the amount of people that are actually subscribed and follow this YouTube channel are actually well-minded people that aren't creeps because of the stress of dealing with that. It's so, oh my gosh. I've honestly been considering of shutting down this channel to be completely honest, but I've been staying on for the hope of many people because it does help and inspire some people. It's just sad because there's a lot of just not well-minded people on the internet. It's like I can understand, but it's a lot of those people just don't have they don't know how to have boundaries and know what's right and wrong what to do. So that's kind of why I'm voicing it here, especially because like it's not okay. Yeah, so this is like another kind of hangout uh, live, but completely honest and true, and it's about ADHD and intense emotions. So that's what this is. All right. ADHD and intense emotions. Let's get into this. So I always have all my papers of doing everything here. Just like this is something I encourage so many, like everyone, or at least a lot of people should do, is self-reflection, because that's how you can really get to know yourself, especially for living with yourself for so long. I mean, you live with you your whole entire life. So why not get to know yourself? And I know a lot of people with what they've had and everything with going through life, all the traumatic stuff that clings to them. That's just the huge that they get like afraid to get to actually know themselves. But that's, I believe, is one of the huge things in life, is be able to understand what they are, where they're coming from, how they're affecting you, and how to overcome it, and how to control it, and how to actually say hello and speak to your actual real self. Like I said in like the last live, there is that part of you that is always telling you those good things. That, see, here's the thing. Whatever darkness, anything negative at all, whatever you feed it, just like, I think it's the movie, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. But if you water something, the more you water it, the more you feed it, the bigger it becomes. So the more you give in to your dark thoughts, the more you feed it, the bigger it becomes. So I think that's a huge reason why a lot of people can't really find, or are afraid, or can't talk to their true, genuine, real selves, is because that voice is so much smaller and quieter, because they gave so much power to the darkness of them. So this type of message is really to fend off all the creepy people as well. Like everybody has their key words, especially me with ADHD, of explaining things where it might mean another to someone else, because we all have our ways of interpretation. But when I say creepy, it's literally just a person going not it's a person not respecting somebody else's boundaries and rules. Like, I remember as a kid, it's like rules schmools. However you say that phrase, like, like rules, whatever, like break the rules. The rules are made to be broken. But once you I think that was like other people's rules. Like, you don't have your own. But then when you realize how genuine and special that you actually are, once you get through the darkness and be able to speak to yourself, then you realize that you need to make your own rules and boundaries in respect for your own self, so you can live your best life as you can. This is a heavy live. This is a heavy live right now. But that's what I think is a major deal with most people that they really need to wake up to. Because I absolutely know that life doesn't come with a rule book. It absolutely doesn't. We all really need to find our own paths and own ways, and need to learn from like other people of who we're around to actually learn and realize how to fit in what's acceptable and what's not. I think that's why I like one-on-one person interaction more than a crowd, because I get to actually understand that person more and know what to do and what not to do. Like, I'm not calling myself perfect. I am like, nobody in this world is perfect. We're all just trying our best that we can. Like, especially with like what we present ourselves with is huge. And here's like going back with emotional dysregulation, is we can it seems easier to let our dark side take over us, because it's like relieving, but it's not for the person we're directing it to. And that person would most likely not be our friend anymore. And then we get all upset and offended, like, why aren't they our friend anymore? Like, I was, I was being great because I did what everything said to do in my head, and it made me feel great. And I think that's like the power of having rules and being aware of yourself and knowing how to fit in. So yeah, I think a lot of people haven't really, a lot of people haven't been taught. And like I was just saying, life doesn't have a rule book. Excuse me if I'm kind of like going around in circles. See, that's something I need to work on, is like, I love to learn. I love to identify and know what's caused from what. So like I always say, like I'm repeating myself, kind of going in circles, because it's ADHD. Where, I mean, yeah, it's ADHD because I can't remember, like it's hard to keep track of the whole book, you could say, that I'm saying, that I'm putting out, see, like these pauses are my brain kind of catching up and trying to fill of what I'm going to say. But the main point of what I'm trying to say is don't blame anyone else. Don't blame anyone else of your own faults. Don't blame your own mental illnesses even. Like, yes, I have ADHD. I have IBS. They do control my life. But like, we can say that about other people too, but that's also the saying of letting water sink your own ship. So you're the captain for like this analogy, I think is the word for this example. You're the captain of your own ship. You're the one who steers it. You're the one who sets the sails. You're the one who mends to it. You're the one who takes care of it so it can function correctly as you go about the 7 seas or whatever. As you go on your journey, as you venture forth, you're the one who takes care of this wonderful, beautiful ship. And why do you take care of it? Because it gets you places, just like as you should with a vehicle. Not even a vehicle, literally your whole human body. Like your whole human body is like a pirate ship, as the example is what I'm saying. So with it being like a ship, you take care of it so it can function at its best and not have any problems, because who wants to deal with problems? No one. So I was on a good tangent there. Now my brain's trying to. So yeah, we take care of our ship, aka we need to take care of our bodies so we can keep going. And obviously, another huge thing that really affects us is, oh yeah, I was going with water going into our ship. Yeah, so we take care of the ship. So if water gets into the ship, what do? We get a bucket, scoop up the water, and put it out of the ship. We put it back. We take it out. We get it away from our ship, because if there's too much water in our ship, it drowns. And if it drowns, if you let it go too much, there's not much you can do with getting it back up to afloat. I mean, it is possible, but it's really, really hard to get your whole ship from the bottom of the ocean to the top floating again, rather than keeping at it and just keep scooping the water up the water and tossing it out of your ship. So you see those two factors? I feel like a therapist. But that's all school and yeah. Anyways. So in real life, we can't let other people's whatever they say or do to us put water in our ship to let it drown. Because as much as we keep the water in there will be more, then the ship will sink. So exact same thing with people saying stuff to us that hurt us and don't make us feel as good, because we could either not let it get to us, or we consume the water, we consume what they give us, and we put it out to other people, other ships, and we destroy other ships because of this irritation, because of this water or this damage. It could even be a cannon they put into our ship because it hurt us and we need to be healed. But the only way we know how to fix it, how to fix that hole, that damage they put into our ship, is to just put it into their ship, or even somebody else's ship who was the nearest by. That's not the right way to go about it, right? The right way to go about it is either just fix it up by yourself, or find some people who are actually understanding and nice and genuine to help you patch up your ship so you can be better. I actually love this. I love talking like this because so many people are just so misguided, and like I was just saying, they just unleash what's hurting them. That's why so many people are just so not good to other people. And with the term I use for creeps, for definition, my definition, for people that don't respect your boundaries, for the people that don't respect your boundaries, don't understand. They've never really been taught. So they've always just relied on whatever makes them feel better of what they know, what they are familiar with. And most of that is usually just like me being a female, I'm automatically a target. Dog's barking, so seeing what's going on. But yeah, me being a female, I'm automatically a target. And obviously pretty female organs and creeps just see it as, ooh, like, like, I don't even want to get into that, but you know what a creep is. And if you're watching this and you're one of those types of people, I really hope what I literally just said gives you some clearness of knowing what way to go to become better and getting out of that stuck cycle of getting that relief of just going again and again with just trying to lure all of these girls to just talk to and eventually get water into their boat and sink them and control their ship. There you go. I would say amen, but I'm not really that religious, so whatever word that is you want to call it. Seriously, though, we all have the ability to become better and to be our best selves. We really just kind of need to be guided a little bit. And that's what I'm hoping putting this video out there on a How to Love channel for self-love, self-discovery, to wake some people up. Oh man, that was a lot, huh? That was a lot. It was a great lesson though. Made me feel better. It definitely did. So emotional dysregulation. I've tried to do my research here, but reading and ADHD makes it's a challenge. Like I said, do not do the blame card. Because this is like a lesson I'm trying to learn myself recently. Thank you, Vem. I just got to your messages. The comments in the comment section. All right. Yeah, so I try to read. Like, I barely got through college, guys. This is why I'm absolutely not going back to college, because of all the reading they have you do. I could not do that one bit. Otherwise, I fell asleep every single time. I was so exhausted from all I had to do with that and life itself, obviously. So that's a big reason why I'm not going to get the license of being a therapist. I could barely even take general college. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on college. It would be great if I could get a degree like that. or something of the sort. That's kind of like why I'm hoping YouTube will take off in some type of way. Well, either way, it's helping the world make it a better place in this sort of way. I love the way how you turned everything back and got back to the creeps. Really, though, like, it's so amazing how with every single lesson, you can learn a lesson from so many different perspectives, so many different ways. So just like all of that I was saying, and it really relates to them too. That's what I think is just so amazing, so mind-blowing, is you can just look at something in so many different lights, and that's what everyone needs to do, especially those people, you know? You don't have to look at women that, like a, you know, I don't want to say the words, but you don't, like, there are other ways to look at women. We're human beings as well, just with added other parts. I mean, there are transgender people now. There are, like, all of the words. I'll say LGBTQ because that's the most general to say everybody. But we're all human. We're all human. It's just the biggest challenge to tackle, and once you tackle it, you'll look back at what you used to be with being subdued. I think that's the word. Submerged with being submerged by your darkness, that you'll be so happy that you're finally in the light. All right, so I am attempting to get ADD Etude. That's the website I'm on right now. I've tried, like I was saying with college, I cannot read for the life of me. I can read. I'm actually extremely good. Apparently, that's what people have told me. I'm really, really good at writing papers. But reading them, forget it. So I have their website up here, and I'm going to see what pops out to me to see what I can do with, I guess you could say, today's lesson. Am I a teacher now? If only it was that easy. You need a degree in the real world, I guess you could say, but in the YouTube world, I'm here. You know, like I can talk about this kind of stuff. It's not inappropriate. It's literally educational and entertainment purposes only, as it says with the YouTube laws. Sensei, not sensei. The way I say words is funny too, because there are so many different ways of pronouncing words, you know? It's sensei, though. That's how most of the world pronounces it, sensei. But yeah, it's all about, like, the importance as well with getting this channel out there is just sharing it. I've said this now and again, is just sharing this channel, videos that you find inspirational, to just spread it around to people that you think could benefit from it. So I think that's really the power that you guys, the subscribers, or if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to become a warrior member of this channel and help me out as much as I'm helping you out with this knowledge and advice. But yeah, it's in the hands of the subscribers, because there are so many of you, and it only takes just you know, a share to just one or multiple social medias, you know? So it really is. Like I share my videos around and all of that, but like I just said, I'm just one where you guys are many. All right, let's get to this. Let's see what I can do. No, I'll admit it's tough to do everything. Like with the energy that I have, it's tough. Like I can only really just say I have an Instagram. I post inspirational stuff that I find on there on the story mostly. And you can see I have like, I think I have like 2 things I kind of shouted out of my videos, which I do need to get into a habit of, but I just get so mostly overwhelmed because it's just a lot of work. And I kind of get down on myself about that, to be completely honest, because it's like you know, I'm not working a regular job. I know exactly what it's like to work a really, at least it was for me, like a really hard job. And I was absolutely dedicated, like 100%. I was like the best. Like I'm not sure what the word is, but if anything, I put my best into that job and they still didn't treat me well. And I got, yeah, that's a whole thing. But point is, I feel a bit saddened that I can't really stretch out my own content as much as I would like to, but I do it when I can. So, yeah. I do have links, though, to my Instagram, TikTok. What else do I have? Twitter, in every description of my videos, though. So I kind of do it that way. Oh, it's okay. I'd rather just go about it my own way. Like, what's the word? I'm actually not sure what the word is. But the most that you guys can do is just share the videos. That's all I ask, is just to get it to the right people. I can handle everything else on my own. Because this is this. So I hope that made sense. I couldn't really think of words for that one. Emotion commotion. That's what this says. Yeah, that's okay. That's a huge thing with ADHD and regulating your emotions. I've definitely had to learn this one for myself. Is yeah, this is what I said at the very beginning of this video, is to know yourself. Know yourself. Study yourself and realize, like with everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. So like, for example, someone talks to you, someone, let me see, let me think of a good example here. Okay, this is kind of like in my own experience, but say someone offers you food. Say someone offers you a food that you either dislike or are allergic to, something in that area. So someone's like, oh, I made some, this is what's coming to my mind. I made some meatballs. I made some spaghetti and meatballs. And this is how you practice this. They're like, I made some spaghetti and meatballs. Would you like some? And you could respond in multiple ways. And here's just the huge thing with seeing perspective in so many ways. Depending on where your mindset is, where your brain is, where your emotions are. So let's say you woke up that morning and still are at that moment. You woke up that morning really irritated because you didn't get enough sleep and you woke up on the wrong side of the bed really. And your day's just been going stinky because you didn't get enough sleep. So again, person's like, oh, I cooked some spaghetti and meatballs. Would you like some? And you would be like, again, you don't like spaghetti and meatballs. And you'd be like, oh, spaghetti and meatballs? Oh, those are disgusting. So think about how, like, that helped you because you're not feeling good. You're feeling cranky. And that kind of gave you that sense of relief because you let that out. But here's the huge thing that a lot of people don't do or aren't really able to because they need to think about themselves because they're not doing well. So they have to take care of themselves in the best way they can. So they felt like saying, oh, that's so disgusting. Like, get those away from me. I don't want them. That gave them that sense of feeling better because they let that out. But you got to think of the other person. This person just made spaghetti and meatballs. No, they didn't know that you don't like spaghetti and meatballs, but now they feel hurt because they were doing a kind thing, offering you food. They didn't have to offer you food, but because you were around, they chose and thought it'd be a good thing to offer you something to eat. I mean, we all need food to survive, and it usually is a very kind gesture to give someone something to eat. So, what's the right way to handle this situation? You don't like spaghetti and meatballs, but you're feeling cranky, not feeling too good. Your mind isn't all there. I think, at least for right now, where my mindset is, the best way to go about it is I always think, like, you see me on this channel, honesty is absolute key. Absolute key. So in this situation, this person feeling cranky and not too good with this generous giving from someone else of spaghetti and meatballs, a meal they don't like, they could just say, oh, I'm not feeling too good today, or I didn't wake up on the right side of the bed today. No, thank you. You don't even have to explain yourself if you don't want to, but with feeling that you would reply in a grouchy way, you can just say, you can literally, like I just said, explain yourself a little bit. So they can understand that because what they see is it all depends where everybody's mindset is. But just to say, because you look because they offer you this and you give them a grouchy face, you have a grouchy face because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But they take that as the food looks disgusting. See, so many people can take things in so many different ways. So that's why it's so key to at least be, even if you're not feeling good, and this goes for me. I don't feel good most days, but I still, so I don't want to make this about me though. That's the key of just being as positive and having not just all of you in your thoughts all the time. And whenever whenever, even if it's a complete stranger that stops you, just while you're in the middle of something, always be kind. And like this saying that I see everywhere is, everyone is going through something that you don't know, so always be kind, because we're all hurting. We're always all going through something. So with those spaghetti and meatballs, you have the disgusting kind of face on. Keys are explain why you have a disgusting face, so you don't disgusted face, so you don't offend the person, making them think that that is your reaction to the meal they just made. So explain why you look like that. And either just say no, but in the nice way, the nicest way that you can, because they made this meal. They took the time to make a plate for you. They took the time and thought to go to you to offer this to you. So moral of what you should say is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too well today. That's kind of why I don't really look the best, or I don't really seem the best today. But it's okay. I greatly appreciate you making this plate for me, but I'm going to pass today. And even to add to that, you can literally say, oh, but I love your lasagna that you make. You know, like, that's the huge thing of, see all of that of what I just said, that probably covered like 5 pages. That is just the power of not reacting on impulse, of not reacting without thinking. That's the importance of analyzing what they told you. I made this plate of spaghetti and meatballs for you. You wait there a second, or like take a breath, let your brain collect what they just said, what's happening in front of you, and don't go on your immediate first, what your brain immediately first comes up with to say. And just analyze the situation, take the other person's emotions, well-being into thought, and just go about the situation the best that you can. So yeah, like, everyone is going through something. I think that's just so important to always keep in mind. So always be kind. Life is short. Life is short. So why go about it, even if you're not feeling good, why go about it just always letting out your not feeling goodness on other people to ruin their day? Like, you know how smiles and positive energy is catchy? Like you see someone smile and you kind of can't help but smile. That's the same thing with being negative. But negative is so much more catchy than getting a smile, because it's a sickness, you could say. Oh, this is fun. I'm having fun, guys. This setup too is a bit interesting. I actually set up Stitch there so you guys can have a friend. And if you guys were here in my last stream, do you recognize this? It's up. What I made last video was a mood board, vision board, inspiration board, whatever you want to call it. You can call mostly anything. as long as it has the right context, really. So that's up there to inspire me and remind me of what I'm kind of looking for in my life, what to inspire and motivate me with. I like it's funny you say Roger that, Captain Vin. It's so interesting because ever since I was little, I always like wanted to be like the captain of the team, but I had really, really, really bad social anxiety, and like what I've grown up to now, I always just love understanding how things work so I could take upon it the best that I can. So I've definitely become more of a leader as I've grown up, especially with always just being by myself growing up and just uh, watching and learning. That's really what I've done my whole life. Do you visualize a safe space when you're in a situation where you're uncomfortable or triggers your ADHD? That's a very good question. All right, let's see. Visualize. I know I've absolutely heard that a lot. So here's the thing. I've been in therapy before. My brain's like, should I tell the whole story of how I ended up in therapy? It was literally because my primary care didn't believe I had IBS. So she's like, go to a therapist because you're not okay in the head. Isn't that ridiculous? Clearly, I have a bowel issue. I mean, your brain is connected to your stomach, but it's still, even so, anyways. But I have been to therapy before. I have been to therapy with a family member before. So I have like kind of a few different perspectives of what it's like. And everyone's different. Bottom line, everyone is different. So, like I was just saying before, we all interpret things differently depending on our perspective of what we've gone through. But there is a more, I guess you could say, correct, positive, as long as it's positive, and genuine. Because there is like toxic positivity. It's all about balance. It's all about finding the right balance. And that's something I've grown up and struggled with myself, especially having social anxiety. Social anxiety makes the world a whole different type of reality and seeing the world, that it's really hard to be able to see the world accurately and be able to go about it the best that you can. But I was going to say that therapy helped me in no way, shape, or form. But I believe that is because you need to find someone that flows with you, that actually knows you. Because I felt completely insulted because the person didn't know me. So that's a huge thing if you ever do go to therapy, or even just have like a really, really, really good supportive friend. Make sure they know you. But also, it's just really important to know yourself. But that's the practice of being able to know yourself, is practicing with somebody else who is willing. So that's with therapy, which I've heard visualizing a safe space when you're in a situation, when you're uncomfortable. And that's why I'm saying perspective, because I'm against that. Because if I was told to do that by a therapist, I just roll my eyes at therapy. I'm like, it's just because it does not work for me. Because I believe you need to just know yourself. You need to know yourself. You need to take time. You need to take the time to sit down, or even just with situations, and like I said with that past story, is to just take a second and recollect what is happening and all the different ways you can react and respond. So I think that's the most important to do with learning about yourself. So that's number one. That's step number one. Know yourself. Visualize a safe space from your situation where you're comfortable. I'm really curious. I wonder if it's as. Okay. The way I was diagnosed with ADHD is actually when I was really, 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 really young. I think it was like 3rd grade or something. They had me go to this special place that it was so weird. It was really weird. And took me about all these really weird learning tests. So I've done all the professional actual tests of how they diagnosed me. It's really funny too, because my 5th grade teacher, like my mom would tell her, oh, my daughter has ADHD. And obviously before then I went through all the tests, like she has ADHD. But my 5th grade teacher was like, oh, she doesn't have ADHD. She sits completely still and doesn't talk to anyone. Where she thought people with ADHD are jumping around, can't sit still, keep on talking, all these outbursts. But I had ADHD with social anxiety. And my social anxiety was so bad. I couldn't, guys, it was bad. Like, I couldn't move at all. Because I was so afraid that if I move, literally, like if I do that, anything, I thought I would be judged. So I lived so many years being completely horrified of people's judgment that didn't even exist. That was all in my head. To answer your question, I definitely think that I am correctly diagnosed. But with ADHD, it has its mix. ADHD and Asperger's, from what I've read over the years, are pretty similar. So I may have traits compared to it. And it's great. Oh yeah, it's absolutely great to know what's, set in stone about you, so you know what to look for. So you're not misaccurately researching about yourself, but it's also connecting with yourself at the same time of what you research to be like, oh, okay, that seems to relate to me. Kind of like how astrology is. It's like, oh, astrology is so fake because we all relate to all this, and that's the huge thing. We can all relate to a lot of these things. It's just pinpointing what really is us and what really isn't. Social interactions. Oh yeah, absolutely. The inability to focus on subjects you're not interested in. I struggle with that still. That's actually why I'm doing this live. One of the main reasons, because I couldn't focus on doing this research of emotional dysregulation, because that's what I'm working on right now with myself, is how to not act on impulses, because the feelings, the emotions that come with it are so strong and powerful that it feels almost literally impossible to not act on the emotion, on the impulse that your brain tells you to when you get triggered, when you feel it. So that's actually what I am doing this live for, but also to educate you guys at the same time. So it's like, it's like I'm doing 2 things at once. So it's great. Give 100%, 110% attention and focus. That's it too. Trying to understand what you just said. Well, I know for one thing, to relate to that comment, it's taken, guys, I've worked on myself. Like, I've always been someone who's always loves learning and becoming better. Like since such a young age. So I've had a lot of practice of becoming better, especially with the attention span. And that's also what's important, is to know your triggers, know yourself. That's the huge thing with emotional dysregulation, is to know what will trigger you. So, for example, this is also because of IBS, but ADHD too. It all comes together. Okay, this is a good example because it just came up. I have a friend who invited me to go to their cookout today. But I feel so bad, but you have to be there for yourself and know your limits. So here we go. They invited me to a cookout. It's not that I feel bad. It's, wow. Why can't I say it? Okay, one of the reasons I can't go is because smoke. I am so sensitive to so many smells, perfumes, fragrances, and another one is the heat. Like I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to list my. I do this all the time in my videos anyway for awareness, but that's not the point of this subject right now. Triggers. Yeah, so smoking, being around people that smoke is a trigger for me, not only because it closes my lungs up, but because of that, like, I can't relax. I mean, who could if they have that issue? So that's just a really simple example of knowing your triggers. Okay, here's another good example, going back to the safe space I wanted to expand on. So there was this time I was with a good friend of mine that we were in line to see a concert. And if you know, with concerts, there are a diverse amount of people there. I mean, at any gathering or whatnot. But the people, two groups of people ahead of us in line were heavily smoking. And of course, it got to me. My lungs started to close up. I couldn't breathe. And I was starting to have a panic attack. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So this is where it comes to visualizing a safe space when you're in an uncomfortable situation that not only triggers ADHD, but at least in this situation, it triggers something that puts you in alarm mode, panic mode, that makes you shut down. For one, safe, okay, this is what I do. What I did in that situation. Interesting. It's really cool. It's really interesting because one of my friends has Asperger's, which I am like so close to. So it's really interesting. Just to kind of like add on to that, like, you know, we all find our friends in life. Like, we all just come across the people that we click with and we don't click with. And I've always clicked with the people who have most disabilities. It's so interesting. Like, this is such a great memory. I love it so much. So I grew up having like no friends. I couldn't get along with anyone. And I know that's shocking to hear with who and how I am today. And I'm just and I hope to be a great example of where, like, where you can get if you can figure out the right path to take to become better and go against your own darkness and that. But what I was going to say is I grew up with like no friends, couldn't get along with anyone. But when I was at camp, this was the very first time I ever met and was in a group with people who had special needs. And mostly everyone in the group just shut them out. They didn't like them. Where I thought they were the most gentle, genuine, kind human beings ever. I was appalled by how people saw them in such a dark light because they were different. And those were the people, the special needs people, are the people who I hung out with. I mean, I knew their names. I didn't really get to socialize them with them much because they couldn't really, but I couldn't really either because of my not horrible, but my social anxiety that prevented me from socializing with other people. But it's mostly because I didn't know and understand social norms, because otherwise I would act out of my ADHD anger type of stuff because I was so aggravated by everything because I didn't understand, I didn't fit in, all of that type of stuff. But this also kind of ties with, you don't, like, I only knew their names and never really socialized with them. I just hung around them in the group as we did all these activities, camp stuff, and that was like the most precious social interaction memories I've ever had. And I only really just knew their names and was just around them because they were good energy. So sometimes you really just, that's all you need. That's like a good example. That's a beautiful example. That you just need the good, positive energy to get along. It's really interesting to me that that actually did go so long. I mean, it was just how I was. I didn't want to because it hurt me so much to socialize with the other normal people. Oh, hold on. What was I saying? But yeah, that was really cool with special needs. And then in middle school, actually, I actually got to see 2 of those special needs kids at school. So I was like, oh my gosh, I know them. I know they're awesome. All right. I know I said last live or something, and whatever, I don't know, I don't remember, but Tinkerbell has always been a huge part of my life, and that is a very gorgeous, beautiful art, I would say art of her, because that has so much symbolism. I'm a very symbolic person, I don't know if you could tell. But oh my gosh. So Tinkerbell is pretty much my very, very first of what I chose Disney character, especially who I've related to. I think I'm just like Tinkerbell, especially with the anger issues, which obviously I don't show because I keep them under control. But it's so funny because I get red-faced like her when I like don't get my way, or are irritated, and I always like do this, and it's really funny, and I really relate to her. But to speak of this specific art, because it's not a painting, the back of it is a painting. I actually got that at a bazaar 2 years ago, I believe. And this is the beauty of knowing yourself, of being positive, is you run into things. And this is one of the things I ran into. At the time, growing up, I loved perler beads. I just loved them. And I was able to get a bunch of them at a yard sale a few years before. And I was like, wow, I have my childhood thing. This is so cool. I love the colors. I mostly love the colors. I never made perler stuff because it was so tedious for my brain. I didn't have the patience to put it all together. And whenever I actually did make something, I needed to obviously iron it. It would get all stuck. I was impatient. I couldn't do it. So when I saw this, that Tinkerbell is made of perler beads. That's entirely perler beads. I kind of want to take it down, but it's kind of, I think she's on a thumbtack, so I wouldn't be able to get her back up, but I'll post her on Instagram. I'll post a close-up of her on Instagram to make it easier, and put a little story with her in honor of this live. But she was made entirely of perler beads, and when I saw that, I was like, this is my dream come true. I didn't make it, but it's a perler beads of Tinkerbell. I have to get it. And I barely had any money during that time too. So it was a gift. That was a great gift to be able to get. And yeah, it's her, and the back is actually painted. Oh, by the way, this is homemade. This is from a local person who made this, and I actually gratefully wrote a long email thanking that person of how much joy this just brought into my life. So, hey, that's the beauty and magic of being positive. Yeah. Yeah, perler beads. I love regular beads too, the clear ones. Oh, I don't have it. Oh my gosh. You know how everybody has all their crafts, all their creative stuff they've made? Mine are few and far between because, patience. But it's also having energy as well because my body, my system gets really hot. Like, that kind of goes with how I get a red face so easily. But I get so hot and exhausted, it's like I can't do all that much. So I just try to do what I can do. But with saying that, I wanted to grow up. Well, I wanted to grow up to be a lot of things, but I liked being a crafter at the time. But I've kind of turned that into multiple different things which suit me and my health and my brain now. But I used to have so much crafty stuff that I never touched. And even if I did, it didn't come out as good as I liked it to. So that's why it's kind of good to just purchase stuff somebody else made sometimes. I really do want to go with this. For best advice when someone is triggered, yeah, like I said, one rule is to know yourself and practice. Number 2 is practice. Practice being in those situations when it's not particularly a threat, so you know what to do. For 3, have your tools on you. That's a huge thing. Have your sensory tools, calm down tools, what helps you. Because this is why I do not agree with visualizing being in a safe space. Because at that moment, your mind is racing. Your heart is racing. Your whole body is going into fight or flight mode. I don't think, at least for me in my experience, there is any ability to actually stop and think to go into a safe space. With what I just said, that should make sense, at least from my perspective and opinion. You know, like how in the world can you think of being in a safe space when you're in a panic? I can't just be like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking. Safe space, safe space. Oh my gosh, safe space. I can't think of it. What's a safe space? That's exactly what would happen with me. So instead, literally just be able to practice, be able to, okay, here's the thing. Okay, here we go. It's coming back to me. All right, when I it's like I can't think of ADHD episodes with me because I haven't had them in a bit, because I've been so controlled with them, because I hate having them control me. But with like IBS, I need to have my tools when I feel a flare up coming on. I need to know how much to eat, what not to eat. But when I say tools with IBS, I have to have, for one, see, this is the huge thing of why I can't work. Whatever I eat, even if I'm having a good day, flare-ups can always happen. But when I have a flare-up, when I am out and about, this is why I can't be out and about. I need to have my tools for when I have a flare-up. If I don't have my tools, I feel like I don't want to say the word. I feel like I'm not going to be here anymore. Like my soul is gone. Like, but, or it's like trapped in this body of pain and hurt. So that's why I need to have my tools for when I have a flare up. And when I say tools, I mean I need to have an ice pack on my stomach, which apparently for me stops, or at least really, really, really helps stop the painful reaction of my stomach as I have the flare up. And I need a cold glass of water. So I'm doing cold and cold. So on the outside of my body and putting cold on the inside of my body. And another extra thing that really, really helps is having a wet, cold washcloth on my face, wiping my face and all that. So it seems like the main idea that I've come up with, because I came up with this all myself with trial and erroring everything. And this helps me the most to handle a flare-up. And that goes back to my point before. You need to be able to experiment and know your triggers to be able to handle them the best way that you can. Doesn't that make the most sense? I mean, it works for me. Absolutely. But yeah, that's what helps me effectively when I have a flare-up. I literally just did the Tinkerbell hair blow. You could see, if you think of me with Tinkerbell, you will see that we are the same person. But yeah. So that is me having my tools with a flare-up. Oh, I've also, hey, this goes with the safe space. This goes with the safe place. Having calming down music helps at the same time, though. I feel like you can't just picture you're in a safe space. You need to have your tools or something to hold physically, like, you know, all the sensory stuff, like you have, you know, taste, smell, touch, whatever. I think that helps me the most, actually, than just doing the one thing. I need to have multiple. There we go. There we go. That answers that question. So comparing me having my tools during a flare-up and not having my tools, oh my gosh. I have no idea. Like, the motivation of needing a job and having to work, like, I literally saved enough. I mean, it's going, but I saved enough at least to be able to not work right now. But it's very low. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. But I pat myself on the back, but I should not have had to go through what I had to go through with my flare-ups, but it's also what else could I have done? Yeah. Yeah, having flare-ups are so hard with being in different environments. It all depends on the environment you are in, if you can have the tools that you need. Man, hey, I've been going on for an hour and 15 minutes. Nice. I mean, I shouldn't rate anything on numbers. I just wish a bit more people could get this message. Seems the counter has been going at 3 the most so far. It also depends on people's availability at the moment. See, that's the thing. That's just a good example, like, of how the mind is with thinking. It's because it literally just tried to tell me, oh, you're not good enough. You don't have a lot of views, where you're saying some great stuff. But that's the thing. You got to think about it other ways. It's that the videos aren't reaching the right people, or aren't reaching the right people at the right time, or they're busy doing their own life stuff, you know? That's how it is. And see, I feel better already. I didn't let that darkness side of me go on that whole tangent to make me feel bad that I don't have anybody watching or benefiting, or, you know? Yeah. I was just going to say, it's all mind games, guys. Life is all mind games. I mean, it really is, but it's really just controlling yourself. And, man, don't control others. Do not control others. Unless you are raising your own child, that's like your only permission of controlling another person correctly. But don't control another person. Just focus on yourself. Unless they actually ask for help, give your best advice. But yeah. Let me write down to remember to take a picture of the Tinkerbell, because I know I will forget if I don't write it down. This is what I've been using as well, guys. Oh, my voice has been doing pretty good this stream, actually. That's great. That's fantastic with the Barrett's esophagus. My voice hasn't went out. But yeah, this is what I was going to say. I use this. What's it called? I'm not even sure what it's called. But it's on an iPhone, a Todoist app or something like that. And it's color-coded, and yeah, like literally you can just see my setup of what I have here, what I use with this. It's all color-coded, and you could just put your lists there so you can remember what to do. So like the very top one here is today, 7/11/21. So I just put it there. I'm like, oh, this is what I have to do today. And you could just check it off and feel good about yourself because you checked off something, you know? And that's how you get more done. I was just going to say, like, I could make so many videos of these, but work. But I'll get somewhere. We'll yeah. These videos are on here anyway, you know? It's not like Twitch where they delete. So, hi Stitch. How's it going? Stitch is the best. This is like another huge thing. It's like, oh, like, I cannot sleep without this guy. He is the best comfort ever. It's not a bad thing to still have stuffed animals. Do what you love that makes you feel good, as long as it's not harming others. Because it's like, oh, I do something good, and it's like, no, don't hurt others, or, you know, something like that. That's actually not good. Okay, Tinkerbell. Close up Tinkerbell. Photo to Insta. I can't see who has popped in and out of here. That's what's kind of stinky with YouTube here. Can I see? Last time I clicked on participants on here to see who's hanging out. It took away the chat from me, which is annoying, and I had to reboot the whole live. So, can I see from my phone? I'm just curious if I have the same audience or... I look so tired in the thumbnail. Oops, that's loud. How can I see? I can't see people. Ah! Oh! What's going on? Oh. So weird hearing myself talk in my own phone. See, that's the thing. Oh my gosh. It's like so many platforms have so many, all these different things. Like YouTube saves the videos, Twitch doesn't. Twitch has bits, which I think is how you donate. But YouTube has stuff, but you have to have 1 million subscribers, 10 million, something like that. Oh my goodness. I'll get there. Just got to keep on digging with anybody. Great advice for anyone. If you just keep going, you will get there. Just believe in yourself, and that's a huge thing, believing in yourself. Oh my gosh. Like, took me a bit to believe in myself, I'll be honest. Yeah, why can't I see people? Oh gosh. My recommended while I'm on How to Love is not pretty. Ooh. Since I'm about my channel right now, it's incredible how I have 156 subscribers. Like, where'd you all come from? It's amazing. I really hope that's the power of sharing the videos, but I think it might because of that ADHD bullet binder video. That video has skyrocketed, which is amazing. Which is also amazing, which is kind of crazy. How many lives I've done in a row? It's like, no, it's because I don't want to edit. I literally said that when I started this channel. I'm not editing, but what I did was 1 takes on this. And yeah, but that's literally ADHD, is just doing all these different things and getting into what's in your comfort zone that you have at that moment. Really is. So I'm always jumping around. Yeah, like, where are you? Yeah, there you are. 4K views. What the heck? That's how many views the bullet journal, Find Your Bullet Journal has. It's insane. That's where I think most of these subscribers came from, really. Anyways, I shouldn't think too hard or too much about it. They'll come when they come. I just wish it was a bit faster because I need an income, like we all do. All right. Well, it seems like the end of this this live anyway. It seems like everyone's headed out. Oh, I'm not sure. I think I got my point across. I got a lot across in this live. Yeah, I'm just seeing with... This is the whole reason, one of the big reasons I went on here is to see about emotional dysregulation with ADHD. I pretty much said all of what to do. It's just understanding in the moment, because our minds get so lost and so panicked in the moment. I gotta sneeze. Ooh. Okay, I think it went away. Oh my goodness. I'm just... Oh gosh. It's like I'd like to talk, but then I feel like I'm complaining. And I do not want to bring that energy. Brain! Yeah! Oh my gosh, guys, but it is difficult. Like, it is something you need to master and practice. I'm still practicing myself every day, or as much as I can whenever it arises, to act the best that you can to not harm or hurt others' feelings. That is just a huge thing. But yeah, it's like, I'm just looking at this ADHD article here, and it's like I try to pick up some things, but it's like trying to pick up some things, you know? It's so much better to know yourself, but so great to talk to someone. That's like why having a really great close friend with great advice, but also having a therapist is great to have. It's just, money is such an issue, and it's everything. Gosh. Well, we will all find our way, though. One day at a time, one step at a time. All right. I think... What's the phrase? That's what I get for putting a clipboard on a binder. All my binders. It slides off. But I think I have said a lot. I mean, obviously I've said a lot, but I think I've proved my point. I think I've stated my purpose. I think, oh my gosh, how do you word? I think I've said enough. That's not the right way to say that. See, that's... How... I know, like, so many YouTubers struggle with this. Is like, how do you end a video? Like, how... Words. Like, how do you word? Oh my gosh. Well, okay, here we go. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Vim, for being an awesome commenter. And you actually helped a lot with sparking some awesome questions, some like really deep questions I could answer. They were so much fun to think about and answer. I will post that Tinkerbell photo on Instagram. It's such a gorgeous photo. And I hope if you're watching this video, if you are watching this video in the future, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. It was a great, fun time. It seems like so much easier for me to make these videos into lives when I can, to have the engagement, the great positive engagement at the same time as well, but not having to have the editing. But I can do it. I can do it. It's just my ADHD is blocking that, at least right now. But I am heavily working on having a daily routine. That's something I've never had and never been able to stick to because of my ADHD. So that's actually something I am and have been working on my whole life. And am right there to mastering it. That that goes along with that bullet binder bullet journal that has 4K views now. What? 4K people, please donate to me. I don't want to say desperately, but we all need an income to live. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. It's a daily routine so I can be more productive, and so my ADHD doesn't get really tired of it and just throw it away, because it's happened so many times. Just could not stick with it. So I'm doing my best, as we all are, and as you are. I am so proud of you. Seriously, doesn't matter. Like, as long as you are doing better for yourself and for others, to become a better person, to just advance, to just get by the days, so that you can be better, to not give in to your darknesses, like to get rid of those old toxic and realize they are toxic habits, to turn them to better ones. There is a positive to every single negative, guys. I am so proud of you if you are working on that. Even if you start right after this video, it would mean the world to me, because that is just one more person, that is one more you to make this world a better place, and for you to have a better life. We all have the power to make our lives better, no matter how stinky it is. Stinky. Because I have IBS. I am healing from IBS. See, guys, you gotta change. There's so many little tweaks, so many different little tweaks you can do to make your life better. Like I just did there. Like, I would say I'm suffering from IBS, but I'm healing. Like, what you say, you put out into the universe for it to more likely happen and come true. I'm healing. You are healing. You are healing from whatever illness, mental illness, physical illness, whoever's around you, you are being healed. I'm not saying anything religious. Mind you, I'm not saying anything religious. I believe what you put out there is out there, you know? That's what's put into the universe. We are all energy. Like, look at science. This is what's proven, written down kind of things. And, like, I know there's, like, paranormal kind of stuff. I love that this outro has turned into such a long time, but that's okay. It's a great message anyway. But, yeah, mind you. Okay, my dog needs to go out. Quick. But universe, science. I was going to say, I know ghosts are really not much of science, but there's something very, very interesting. I love the paranormal. But anyways, I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for joining this stream. Please share it with someone, an ADHD or someone that can benefit from it. I'm sure so many people can. And get this around. And whoever has the extra funds, whoever knows someone who has some funds, money, whatever you want to call it, lying around, and benefit from my videos, help me the way that I am helping you in this way, to donate to my GoFundMe, my Cash App that are in every link description below on my videos, and even on my channel in the banner on the little corner section of it. So thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful, positive day. You can change your mindset in an instant. You can work on it. Just practice. Practice makes perfect, guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining me.